Boom. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's daily brief recap. It's about 10:30 here on the West Coast, and a nice hour and a half. Let's just make sure YouTube's doing its thing. Daily brief recap. It is, yay. So I had a nice session with the good people here today, and of course we have Sjord, our CTO, comes on Mondays on the call. Just give us an update on how the site development's going. As you can see, our breadth indicators are back reporting. He was telling us about what was that? How did it go, Kevin? Something about consumers or something like that? I don't know. I don't understand the tech jargon. But long and short of it here is he's feeling like we're back up and running, so that's good. And of course, what an image to be presented with. The sky's falling. Wonderful. So, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a wishy-washy market. Is there really any point on commenting on any of those silly blow-off top, panic, FOMO kind of markets? Not really. I will say, actually, I'm getting a confirmed buy signal on the US dollar index today. Fucking A. Kevin, do you see that? So Kevin and I went and bought UUP call options there a while ago, and everybody on the site was making fun of us. But actually, that looks like now a nice inverted head and shoulders is confirmed here. Fucking A. Awesome! So that's been sort of our thesis. Well, not my thesis here for a while. Because I am looking for this US dollar to turn. So that's encouraging. Like to see that. That's good. Interesting. Ironically enough, we just spent the past 20 years in a cycle where weaker US dollar was actually good for the market. Now, ironically enough, we have to switch into an environment where it's going to be US led, where a stronger US dollar is actually going to be good for the market. And as I've said to you guys repeatedly in public broadcasts, none of you were around 20, 30 years ago trading stock. I was. Very, very different environment. So we actually have to transition now back into a growth world. What does actually an optimistic world look like? And of course, it makes perfect sense. You look out your window right at the apex of the fear cycle, and you ask anybody out in the public, and they're very, very depressed. Stocks enjoying a pretty up day. It took a bit of a punch nose in the end of the week last week. We did a big January barometer report, and actually Kevin will throw out a blog post of those reports, and I did a lengthy talk about them today. So we do have a general path for what to expect going forward. Unfortunately, it's not really optimistic for this year, but we'll see. And of course, with COVID world, I suppose that shouldn't surprise us. So, oil actually enjoying a pretty well bid day here. Interesting. Oil is as strong as it is. Gold gapped higher here. Of course, the story right now is silver. Ironically enough, for a guy like me, I actually like to sell into that kind of strength. So I was very fortunate today in that I put on a trade about a month or so ago because, basically everything was setting up. Time to act, Brian. That was 29 trading sessions ago. And what was really cool about this trade was on YouTube, right? Just publicly talking you through how I was going to manage the trade. And I distinctly remember telling you guys, look, my number one job here is just don't fuck this trade up. And I didn't fuck it up, and I got filled right on the open here this morning. I got an extra treat out of this thing. And actually, it looks like the sell on the open was a half-decent idea as well. So, very, very proud of myself. I mean, ironically enough, the money itself is kind of meaningless. Just throw it on the pile. What is more important to a guy like me is, number one, I've got a setup that I like, and it speaks to me. It's very much who I am. So, a big part of your trader journey is to figure out what kind of setups really appeal to you. And then number two, half of the time in this game we end up actually screwing up really good ideas ourselves. It's not somebody else's fault, it's actually our own fault that fucks things up. So here was not only a setup that was valid and vetted and indeed produced a signal that I could work with, but also too, I think in my eyes more importantly, is the execution of the trade was flawless. And to make money from trading consistently over time, you have to strive for perfection. It sucks. It's sort of like, it's not fair. It's really, really easy to lose money in this game called trading. And to actually make money and be consistent in this, you have to be perfect. It sucks. And the worst part about this is, right, is you making or losing money on the trade is not the definition of perfection. The definition of perfection is how closely you did to what you said you were going to do. Or, what your setup tells you that you must do if certain things happen in the marketplace. That's the definition of perfection in my eyes. And like I said, more importantly out of all of this was I executed without mistakes. You don't make mistakes, you have a half-decent setup, you're going to end up doing pretty well in this game called trading. So I was pretty proud of myself for that. Here's an example of a trade that is just working away. My number one job, you can see the bot level, you can see where I'm long, you can see where our targets are. Most important thing here is don't fuck the trade up. Just don't do anything. We're in and just enjoy the ride. Was pretty pleased to see that a lot of the little ones continue to be well bid here. And also, too, even in the blockchain space, some of the names that really didn't perform are performing pretty nicely here. So there's still a bid in the market. That's interesting. Do you show that the live stream's still working, Kevin? Because my YouTube page just crashed there. You're driving the bus, so the good thing is hopefully I don't have to be working here.
Yeah, it's still working.
Oh, cool. All right. So, I think that there's still money to be made. Like I said, I got a bunch of stuff on the books. I'm long. So they just keep banging this market higher. I'll just keep banging out the doubles and all that kind of fun talk. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk to you guys about. The problem here is that, Wall Street people come in, or whatever the hell the name of that group is. I mean, could I buy this up here? No. Can I buy this up here? No. So, very big difference between what I do as a professional and what I see happening in sort of social media circles. Very dangerous. Please, everybody, you can lose a lot of money in this game very, very quickly if you don't know what you're doing and you start sort of revenge trading against the market to take out your anger on society. That's just a potion for disaster. And in a weird sort of way, all these, this generation, they've gotten a whole bunch of free money, stimmy checks. And we're finding that a lot of this money is just being poured straight into the market. Then they'll break the market. These people will be at a loss. They will have lost money. Maybe they have to pay the bills and they're going to execute at a loss. And the 1% wins again. So I can't see this whole scenario ending well if you start, chasing and taking inappropriate risk and buying the tops of markets and stuff. You're just asking for trouble here. Be careful, everyone, please. Yeah, nice to see. I was waiting for this guy to perform. Nice. You can see my next double level on this guy's up in the 14-15 area. So if I'm lucky, maybe I'll get a nice treat there. Actually, I got a real cool treat on one of my warrants today. This guy here, been barking on the site about this one forever. I went and bought this down here. Sold half on a double actually at that 20 level, and I had another order. I haven't even had time to go and check to see on my fill. Maybe I didn't get filled. I mean, the irony of it all is, should I really be in a big hurry to walk away from this thing? I mean, you tell me. Has that got any room to room to move up here? I think so. So, that's, I mean, it's typical. You guys are probably getting sick and tired of seeing this over and over and over and over again, but it's just what I do. Actually, I did do a little bit of buying on this one here today. I mean, just damn good looking little warrant there, right? So, there are, I suppose, names out there that I am buying. Here's a great analogy of this market, right? This company is technically in bankruptcy protection. How does that make any sense at all? And, GameStop was a mall stock, right? A mall company. These guys are in shopping malls. So I guess if GameStop can go 100x, why not these guys while in bankruptcy too? It's quite amusing, really. So I don't know where to take this conversation with you guys. Have some fun in the market. It's a very fugazi market. It's a very emotionally driven, no value proposition here. Fed's got the fucking checkbook out. They're going to prop up things until we get beyond COVID. It's probably a buy the fucking dip kind of market. But don't chase. Don't chase. Don't chase. Don't chase. All right, well, anyway, I hope you got that message. Bonds? Kind of sideways. Mr. Bond King. I mean, if the stock market, 38.2s, Fed comes in, bazooka, they buy the fuck out of risk here, and it goes cranking back up. Mr. Bond King could be back in trouble again here. This really hasn't turned higher, in my opinion, just yet. And the gold market's just sitting there picking its nose. Fascinating. Of course, silver's doing its thing here today, so hope you're all enjoying that. I would say it's one thing to go after like a GameStop or a AMC, relatively illiquid. Basically, companies are on the brink of bankruptcy, blah, blah, blah. Are the hedge funds maybe a little too aggressive and they got caught with their dick out? Probably. And they should get the dick chopped off. Lose your dick. There's a nice image for you. I was before I started this stream today, I go to Kevin. Okay, let's see what I can say today that's just gonna shock the hell out of people. So there you go, kaboom. But now they're turning their attention to a market like silver. I mean, do you know how big the silver market is? Back in the 90s, I used to talk to companies that were in the mining business. And they had so much silver ore, and silver prices were so cheap that they didn't even process the ore. They would literally load up canyons full of unprocessed silver ore. That's how long silver can remain below even the cost of production, because there's just so much silver out there in the world. Consumer demand here in the short term. I can't buy the physical coins, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But I'll tell you, there's an old expression in the market that goes, want to know what the cure for high prices is? It's high prices. And especially something like a silver market. Back in the 1970s, early 80s there were two brothers, the Hunt brothers, that tried to corner the silver market. And, some people blame the U.S. regulators for shitting on them. I personally, it comes down really simple. There was a big photography company, Eastman Kodak. And back in those days, companies used to actually have to have warehouses of stockpiles of commodities that they used. We don't live, back then there was no such thing as just-in-time accounting. So maybe that's why the silver people love the trade so much right now. I don't know. But, Hunt Brothers try to corner the market. Then Eastman Kodak comes out and says, Mr. Hunt Brothers, you want silver? We got all the silver you could ever have. And Merry Christmas. And they just dumped it on them. And that was the end of that silver bowl. So, obviously history doesn't repeat itself. But, be careful in that silver market. That's not a small market. That is a massive, massive market. And okay, I think I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, small caps versus large caps. Like I said there a few minutes ago, we're even seeing a big comeback into crypto stocks to a certain degree. Junior mining stocks look obviously very happy, so I don't see any fail here out of the junior market, which again is sort of like risk on, risk on, risk on. Do we actually have to get into a world where actually when you see the US dollar index up, that is a risk on vote? For the first 20 years of my career, that's the way the market was. And man, the US dollar had one hell of a rally into that dot-com boom. I'm not saying that's the way it is now. I don't think we're quite turned the corner just yet, but the winds of change are blowing. And I got a funny feeling a lot of people are going to get caught in that one directional trade. And it's short US dollars, not long US dollars. I mean, the irony of it all is you want to talk about the ultimate short squeeze. There might be a short squeeze in the US dollar. That would be funny. As for crypto, you can see the poop coin index. This thing just keeps grinding higher. There's no real fails. I don't see any M's in here yet, but damn nosebleedy. It's fascinating to see how Bitcoin itself, though, is just kind of just floundering down here with a little trend line pivot. In fact, actually, I don't even look at those hourly charts. I got that on there. I started that rabbit hole adventure, and now it's on my screen that I show you guys. This is probably the better image for the corn here right now in my eyes. I think this institutional selling level, that clothesline level, I think that's a pretty darn important pivot. And you can kind of see that it's almost like this is the bottom 50% of the range. And they can take it all the way down to the bottom of that tail there. Right? You can even see that was the high of this area here. That's what these dips were. We're just basically back into these tails. And then you can do the exact opposite. So really, I kind of thought this for a while, that in essence, we're even right now, we're just sitting basically right at the middle of a trading range. We could go either side here, no problem. We've got, of course, ETH events coming up next week. So that's really the catalyst that I think this market's playing off of. And only time will tell, but there would be no buy signals for a guy like me in here. It's just leave it alone, let it settle down. I mean, maybe we can start thinking about one low, two lows, maybe we can get a third low, get this triangle to somehow resolve. Usually it resolves about 2/3 the apex, so I wouldn't even be surprised something like that, and then away we go. But this still got a bit of work to do in my eyes. There's just nothing to do there. A couple areas of the crypto market that do look interesting to me. A burger! I don't know what the fuck this burger thing is, but wow, what a cool chart. Beautiful W's coming in here. Then even look at the test of these lows. Then another W here. Gee whiz. Now look at this big honking W. I don't know what the hell these guys do, but that chart looks rather bullish. I don't know whether I really feel comfortable coming in here. I mean, you'd have to risk against this entire formation. But, W's are W's are W's. If I was cheap ass, I'd probably want to work bids against the lows here and see if I can sneak in on some sort of, FU candle. But damn, here we come on the run with a burger and a crypto. Look at this little ant. Oh, nice little higher highs and higher lows. Something's going on here. There are a couple little ones. The CND put in a cute little bottom. We were talking about that on the website. Nice little gap level you could work a nice bid at. See this Ambrosia? We were talking about that recently. I think I picked up some of that Justin Sun play. This is probably one of the only ones that I actually bought recently. I bought that level. You can see it's working nicely. Nice little pop up top. Maybe I can get some free coins from Justin. Please and thank you. Yeah, so that's the kind of market. There's sort of little specialty situations. Hunt the W's. Go slowly. Don't take too much risk. Oh, look at that. AID. That's an outside upside reversal there. So, yeah, I think it's about it. It's not really much to do on the big boys. I think I've told you before. I mean, geez, these Ethereum chart, this thing can be all over the map here. Just battling right at a major trend line. Since the event is next week, I really would be surprised if we lost this. My hunch is maybe like a nice little fractal. If we could get like a close there today and then beep and then tick up through that high tomorrow, that'd be a half decent little, sneak your way in off an inside bar. See if you can play the orgy. But that's for kind of more advanced guys who are just hunting setups off lower time frames, sniping the market. Guy like me, especially like little old lady, slow and steady nanny nibbles, banging out doubles, there's nothing to do here. Just a big hurry up and let's see what this market looks like on the other side of this event. Alright, I think that's about all I have for you here today. Sure hope you enjoyed the offering. Go and count your silver profits. Don't take no wooden nickels. Maybe take a look at a couple of those little alts that I threw at you. Sing here we come on the run with a burger and a bun while you make some money trading crypto. Alright, have yourselves a great day. All the best and bye for now.